In episode 7 of my Hiking the Continental Divide Trail series, we trek from Grants to Cuba, New Mexico, scaling the majestic Mount Taylor, New Mexico's highest peak. Marvel at the striking sandstone formations that dot the rugged landscape, their weathered shapes contrasting with ancient volcanic slopes. From sweeping desert vistas to pine-dotted ridges, this leg offers a thrilling blend of geological wonders and breathtaking views. Join us for an unforgettable adventure in New Mexico's wild heart. We ended up taking an extra few days in Grants as both Chip Crusher and I waited for new gear to arrive. We stayed at the Sands Hotel, which was not the greatest, but at $40 US a night, who's complaining? I'm in Grants, New Mexico, and this is the United States Postal Service office, and Chip Crusher is in there posting his old backpack back to his place because he's just purchased a new one, and we are heading out today. So I thought I would show you in the background. First port of call tomorrow is to summit Mount Taylor there at 11,300 feet. So we'll try and get as close to that today, and then we'll head up and over tomorrow. Had a heap of snow about 3 days ago, so that could be a slight worry, but I believe it's pretty doable. We'll see how we go. I've got new shoes for the hike out of Grants, so yay. The other ones have been sent to God, so hopefully these will help with a few of the footy shoes I'm having. I'm sure they will. This is the highway road walk out of Grants. We've got about 15 miles to the trailhead of Mount Taylor. We'll take the Mount Taylor alternate and we'll head up there to that white snowy peak in the distance there. There was a sign back down the road there that said, "Please don't pick up hitchhikers," and I thought, gee, I wonder why. Now that we've walked on a little bit, here is the answer. We're walking by New Mexico Corrections Department, Western New Mexico Correctional Facility, otherwise known as a prison. Continuing on the road walk out of Grants, we came across all these gun shells. This is crazy. Talk about someone getting trigger happy. I've been climbing uphill now for nearly 3 k's after we turned off the road down there, and you might be able to see it hasn't taken us long to get a fair bit of altitude already. But we're going up and over this range. That was up behind the jail. That was a 2-mile climb and we've made it to the top. That's the jail, as you can see down there, and as we pan around this way, there is the town of Grants. Pretty good view. The view ahead travels across the top of this mesa now, by the looks of it. Quite open and looking reasonably flat. And if we look over there to the left, there is our hopeful destination tomorrow, Mount Taylor. It's the end of the day and I've set up camp we got about 13, a little bit more miles done today. So half marathon, 21 Ks. We've had a late start, bit of false start. So as I said earlier, we went to the post office and Chip Crusher lost his credit card and we had to go back and find that. But we got it all done and we're not far from the trailhead to the alternate for Mount Taylor, so I'll be looking forward to doing that tomorrow. And other than that, hopefully it won't be too much of a cold night tonight, probably 0-ish, who knows, we'll check. But pretty good day to get back on trail after a big long break in Grants, New Mexico. As we slowly get closer to Mount Taylor, we get these little patches of snow from the snowstorm about 4 days ago. But as we get closer and closer, I'm sure it's going to get more and more. How spectacular is this view? What an amazing little valley. Way out there off into the distance. Incredible. I've just turned onto the Mount Taylor alternate route and we've got 4.2 miles to the summit. More snow as you can see, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like on the top. Water cache and the start of the summit push for Mount Taylor. Check this bloke out. Oh, I missed him. He's going anywhere he wants. It's snow all the way ahead from now. We are now at 10,400 feet, so another 900 meters of elevation to gain, and a quick interlude to check out the view on the way up. And here we can see the trail running a nice letter Z, or Z in America, as we do the last push up to the summit. to the top, Mount Taylor, 11,301 feet. Here's a quick 360. Bit glary into the sun. And out that way is Grants, New Mexico. Here is, just to give you a pointer, Grants, New Mexico is right there. And we've come about, let me see, we've done 12 k's today, say 7 plus 13, about 20 miles away by the trail. I can't believe how good a day it is up here. Only just a little bit of wind, but nothing to complain about. Alright, Grants, New Mexico is out there. And look back, here's the legend Chip Crusher. Did all the hard work post-holing up here today. Thank you, mate. We're so lucky, the day is beautiful. Almost no wind, which is pretty crazy when you think we're on top of the highest peak in New Mexico. But the view is incredible. Chip Crusher and I decided to savour the view by sitting down to have our lunch right at the top. First we have to get the photos out of the way, and then we take a seat at a nice rock table and enjoy our lunch with the $1 million views. Today I have tortilla wraps with honey barbecue tuna, yum, and another with spam and mustard, even better. How good is it? Soon the party is over and the more concerning part of today's hike must begin. This is the trail down the other side, and we're walking on about 4 feet of snow because sometimes your trekking pole goes all the way to the bottom. I have post-holed all the way up to my hip, but for the most part it's just about going to sort of to your shins or knees, but luckily we're going downhill rather than up this time. How are you feeling there, Chip Crusher?
I'm feeling sunken in.
Let's see you get out of this one. Oh, you've done well. It's not long before the north face of the mountain reveals its teeth. The snow on this side is easily 4, 5 and maybe 6 foot deep at times, and the trail disappears amongst the trees. We start to head down and soon my legs sink into the snow up to my knees. It's not long before they disappear totally and I sink in up to my waist. Sometimes the going is okay and sometimes it is post-holing quite a bit. My feet become soaking wet from the snow and by the end of the day they are quite macerated. That is the backside of Mount Taylor again. We came down there, you'll see the track down there. Then we climbed another peak, not quite up as high as that fire lookout, but just up and around that one. And as we get over this side, the views just keep getting better and better. How is this for a little cinder cone, I assume, slash little volcano? Heaps of them way out there in the distance. A new wind farm down there in the distance. And that's us all the way around. Navigating the snow is hard going and cold on my feet, but the big bonus is the views. They are incredible and continue to surprise. Everywhere you look is amazing. Every turn reveals a new image and they seem to get better and better. I'm not sure which is worse, snow or the mud. This is American Spring, and look at this beautiful water. No, not that. This, straight out of the spring, coming straight from the mountains. Can't beat it. So much for my brand new shoes. As Chip Crusher says, it doesn't take long. Just like in Australia, the fires wreak havoc over here as well. We come to the end of the Mount Taylor alternate route and rejoin the official CDT. After being on the go for 12 hours, it's time to set up camp. It's late in the day now and dinner is had in the dark. It's the end of a fantastic day. I'm not sure if it's the best day I've had so far, but it sure is right up there. Now to do it all again tomorrow. It's 8 in the morning. The sun is up. And the trail is glistening in the early morning sunshine. Just looking back, I realise we can see where we've come from. So those two snowy peaks. The main snowy peak you can see there with the towers on top, that was the second peak, and that's Mount Taylor hiding just behind it in the background. These volcanic cinder cones, they still dot the landscape. They have for such a long time now. We are walking along this plateau, dirt road, sometimes rocky, but mostly pretty good like this. And I've got this for about another 15 miles or so, and then the trail drops down about 2,000 feet and we return back to the desert. Last night there were a whole heap of yobbos roaring up and down on ATVs. I was waiting for them to stumble upon us, but thankfully they did not, and eventually they saw the good sense in going to bed, or they went somewhere else. Today's hike continues in the Cibola Wilderness area. We are hiking high up on an open plateau. The CDT is routed along a dirt forest road, and we travel along this for the most part of 20 miles or 32 kilometres. I must make a special mention of Webb, Buster and Catherine. They, unbelievably, have gone out and cached water for us over the next 50 miles or 80 kilometres. They have driven all the way from miles away and placed 2 gallons of water for Chip Crusher and I in 4 places along the route. I assume they spent the best part of the day driving out here and back, plus up and down these forest roads that intersect with the trail to place water for us. This is a very dry section of trail which Webb Buster is aware of, so they have gone out of their way to make it much easier for us. So to Webb, Buster and Catherine, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a style, and whoever's built these ones have done a very good job, because lots of the styles in southern New Mexico have that gap very narrow, which is fine if you don't have a backpack on, but if you do, it makes it very tight. The other problem is sometimes they even have barbed wire in there, which are not real friendly to backpacks. How is this for contender of view of the trip so far? Just spectacular. not sure the route we're about to take, but we're certainly descending back down about 2,000 feet, and we head somewhere right across that desert landscape. The view is just spectacular. The sun is just starting to set. It's bouncing off the terrain down there. We just had a little sleet slash hail shower. Hopefully that will be gone for the night. Isn't that view spectacular? This is the camp for tonight, and it's not a bad spot. We've got this nice bushy tree for wind protection. It's reasonably flat, a little lumpy but not too bad, not so many rocks, and out there not too far in the distance is a wonderful view. Lying in the tent, and look at it, it is hailing out. Could be an interesting night. Quick question. What do you do in the morning when you're walking around amongst the trees and you can't remember which one you tied your bear bag to? After walking round and round in circles for about 40 minutes, believe it or not, I finally found it. That was a pain. It's a beautiful day. I'm walking along the edge of this cliff face that I showed you last night. This plateau continues. The trail is beautiful, nice and soft and sandy, soily. Makes for a easy start to the day. And here is the view opening up for us again. I'm about halfway down the descent, so high up there on the cliff top is where we've come from this morning. Camped up there last night, and if you look around here very windy as we come down. A view ahead. On reaching the bottom, my first thought is I've entered a world similar to the Grand Canyon. There's lots of erosion, cinder cones and canyon walls, plus a huge mountain range far off in the distance. The landscape's truly stunning. So here's another view looking back. So I get the pointer out. Last night we were up here right on the peak, and then we walked across this ridge line, and then we came down through that little green section there, over that little ridge, and we sort of zigzagged all the way down, came out sort of at that little point there, and then back all the way around, and then we've sort of come this way. The views are just incredible. Hiking through what seems like awfully like a mini Grand Canyon. I don't like the life expectancy of this cactus plant. I think it's going to go in one day in a not too distant future. This here, folks, is mile marker number 600 on the official CDT trail. So that's 1,000 kilometres on the official trail as it measures from the Mexican border to here. And there's thousands more to go. The trail turns very sandy. It's a soft sand like you're on the beach. Speaking of the beach, there are sandstone rock walls up ahead that remind me very much of home, like the cliff walk from Coogee to Bondi. We are crossing canyon after canyon. It is up and over one and then down into the next. It's hard walking, but the scenery is amazing. landscape is very Martian-like, with orange boulders, rocks and sandy soil, perhaps a bit like bedrock. It's almost like I expect Fred Flintstone to appear at any moment. There are boulders bigger than cars that have tumbled down from the high cliffs above.
I am going up there somehow. We'll see you at the top. Made it. Getting high above again.
Late in the afternoon, we are hiking along a cliff's edge for miles. The views you would think can't get any better, but they do. Views that go on and on forever it seems. They are constantly changing, but always mesmerising. The trail ahead will have to be pretty special to outdo what I've seen in the last 2 days.
Trail is going, you can really see Chip Crusher there. We're just following all the way right on this cliff's edge. Unbelievable. Look at the views, just go on and on and on.
It's late in the day now and we take a risk of camping high on the cliff's edge. It's quite windy and exposed, but I found a great spot with some cover from a bush. The view of the setting sun out to the west is amazing, and we will have prime viewing when it returns tomorrow morning in the east. How's this for a little bit of walking on the edge? This morning it has been a case of walking up and over volcanoes, around the side walls of volcanoes, and through passes between volcanoes, down into the canyon floors, across those, and then big climbs back up on top. Then the trail follows these massive long cliff edge walks, following along the canyon rim. The drop-off is sheer, but the view and the walk is exhilarating, with sweeping views down to the floor far below.
This is Chip Crush's footprint, and if they disappear, it usually means I've missed a turn off somewhere. So I keep an eye out for those intermittently, just to make sure I'm on the right path. I'm right on top of the peak. Views out to the right, straight ahead, and all the way up to the left and behind me.
While the morning was about volcanoes, the afternoon is all canyons, up them, down into them and across them, from one to another. While mostly walking along the ridge lines, I've been afforded some incredible views, especially where the ridge lines are only 20 odd metres wide. The views out left and right are massive and amazing.
How do you put this view into words? I guess breathtaking is the only thing that comes to mind.
Sometimes I'm walking across huge slabs of sandstone rock. It has been weathered perfectly clean. Then at other times, the rock turns to deep soft sand, beach style. The contrast is stark, but the views are always dramatic and grand. The whole area reminds me of a mini Grand Canyon. Clearly not as big, but the same sweeping views. The trail continues to be solid sandstone rock and deep heavy sand. As you walk along the sand, you end up kicking it with your toes and your shoes constantly fill up with sand. This has the effect of forming blisters on both little toes. Adding to this, I have the sneaking suspicion that my new shoes are not quite right and are a little bit cramped. I'm not sure whether the new model is slightly smaller than the last one, or more probably, my feet, after all these miles, have flattened out, become swollen, and are a bit longer. But either way, after spending $150 on new shoes, I'd hope to get more than a couple of weeks' use out of them.
I'm walking along this canyon ridgeline, and as I was shown, the canyon out there is almost a mini Grand Canyon. It certainly rivals it for views in a lot of ways. And along this way we keep going, but we're going to head across this one, goes down and then up over that one. So a few more ups and downs to go. This is Jones Canyon, and this is the Jones Canyon Spring, and one of the last water sources before we get to where are we going? Cuba. Crossing another canyon floor. Not sure how many we've done today. But this is another one, big wide open gap. And then when we get to the other side, we'll climb back up on top of that one ahead. We'll get that tree out of the road, we'll have a look. That is going to be a fun one to climb. That's been our day today. I've just crossed the canyon from all the way over there, about 2.5 k's across, because now that I'm across here, it is time to start climbing again. Up we go. Erosion in these cliffs, they look like the German bunkers along the Normandy coast in World War II. And when you finally get to the top, this is what the view looks like. And let me tell you, that was some tough rock scramble. Some of the step-ups were like 2 feet high, and with the backpack on your back wanting to pull you backwards, it was a bit scary, sketchy there at one point. We cut across, not from that road over there, but a bit around more to the right. What a view. It's a shame the sun's gone in. 2 days ago, this mountain range was far off in the northern distance, right out there on the horizon, and now here it is.
The plan this morning was to camp about 6 miles outside of Cuba and head in there in the morning, but as I get closer, I'm tempted to make a dash for town and head in there tonight. I've already done 37 kilometres or 23 miles, and if I went on into Cuba, that would be a 30 mile or 48 kilometre day. I'm starting to feel the lure of a nice hotel and a warm bed. Do I or don't I? I've got a spring in my step since I've started to think about it, so this tells me to go for it.
Into Cuba, the race is on. I'm like a Tour de France cyclist, going up for the sprint finish. I've just dumped all my excess water. It's about 6:30 at night. Got my sister Paulie, got me a hotel room hopefully. So it's a race to beat the dark. But we should be able to make good time along here. Hard road doesn't help, but makes you move quicker. It's 7:45 at night, still reasonable light. I've only got about 1.5 kilometres to go. Turn around, you can sort of see Cuba there in the distance. But one of the reasons I decided to push on was because by the time you spend an hour setting up camp, organising your dinner, doing all those things, getting into bed, there's at least an hour gone. And when you set up in the morning or pack it all away in the morning, there's another hour gone. So I figured those 2 hours might be better spent just walking into town. There's a nice hotel waiting for me, and rumour has it there's a McDonald's in town. Chocolate thick shake, here I come. I've made it to the Cuban lodge and not get run over as I cross the highway. That'll be all I need at this time of night.
It's just after 8 p.m. as I arrive at the Cuban Lodge Motel. I dump my pack in the room and walk some more. Up the street, we're at the local garage. I buy the following: 1 cheeseburger, 1 The Bomb burrito, 2 litres of 7-Up and some strawberry Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Then it's back to my room for my own little party. After 30 miles or nearly 50 k's, I've had the most incredible day.